Jury deliberations begin today in the conspiracy trial against former Fugees rapper Pras Michel. The 1990s hip hop star is accused of helping a Malaysian businessman gain political influence in the U.S. in exchange for millions of dollars. Closing arguments wrapped last week with lawyers for Michel arguing that he was unaware that he was acting illegally. Bloomberg senior reporter Matthew Campbell joins us now from Singapore with more on this case against Michel. Being unaware, as we already know, is not the strongest defense because an illegal action is an illegal action. You also co-wrote an I was just about to give the rest of your. You co-wrote an investigative piece looking into this case called "The Fugees, the Fugitive, and the FBI." Great title. All right, so let's talk about this case. Remind us how Michel even got involved in this situation.
This is a truly stranger than fiction story, and there are really two buckets of charges. One to do with allegedly illegal election donations to the Obama campaign, and the other to do with what the government says is illegal lobbying during the Trump administration. They both stem from Pras Michel's relationship with Joe Low, this Malaysian financier who has himself been accused of orchestrating a gigantic fraud. So there are these two sets of charges which are very different. What they have in common is this friendship that Pras had with Joe Low, who was kind of a socialite, had lots of celebrity friends around the world, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian. Pras was one of those, and he's landed in very hot water.
Yeah, so what it seems to me is that he's accused of, there's a situation where it seems like he was paying for access to politicians, but then later on maybe paying to kind of tip the scales of justice or whatever because he was being investigated, if I got it correct. What is the jury?
That's right.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
The real meat of these charges have to do with alleged illegal lobbying on behalf of Joe Low, this Malaysian financier, both to get the DOJ to stop investigating him and also to do with repatriating a critic of the Chinese government who Joe Low wanted sent back. It's a really complex case.
So that's a great point that it's really complex. What is the jury going to have to actually decide on?
Well, from a legal perspective, certainly according to the Department of Justice, which is prosecuting this case, it's pretty straightforward. Did Pras Michel violate U.S. election laws on foreign donations by allegedly funneling donations from Joe Low to the Obama campaign in 2012? And did he violate what's called FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act, by engaging in unregistered lobbying on behalf of Joe Low and on behalf of also allegedly the Chinese government? So that's what the jury is going to be asked to consider today. There are 11 charges in total. Of course, these are serious federal charges. So even if Michel's convicted on one or two or three, that could still be a substantial prison sentence.
So he wasn't the only one involved in this case. What's the status of the other people?
That's right. There were several others. There have been several criminal prosecutions. One of the people who has pleaded guilty to a single count in this case is Elliot Broidy, a Republican financier who's rather well known, actually. He ended up being pardoned by President Trump in January 2021, so he never went to jail. There was Nikki Lum Davis, another person involved with this. She's a businesswoman from Hawaii, also pleaded guilty. She received a 2-year sentence. And then there's Pras's own legal advisor, a guy called George Higginbotham, who has also pleaded guilty but has not yet been sentenced. If he is going to do any time, that will be determined at the conclusion of this trial for Pras, in which George testified.
Wow. I mean, these are serious accusations or allegations. We'll see how the court case unfolds. Matthew Campbell, thank you.